Hi Nana. See, in our previous video, we have learnt about Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Okay, now we learn about the Avogadro law. Okay, so here these laws are studied in order to learn the mole concept easily. So without studying of these laws, we cannot learn the mole concept. Okay, so in order to learn mole concept, we have to study certain laws. So now today we will learn about Avogadro's law. What is Avogadro law? Okay, Amedeo Avogadro, a scientist known as Amedeo. Amedeo Avogadro. In 1811, he introduced the term molecule. So Amedeo Avogadro, what did he do? See, he introduced before that the term molecule was not known to anyone. Molecule. So who introduced the term molecule? Amedeo Avogadro. Before that, this molecule was learnt as compound atom. Compound atom. Okay, John Dalton has given compound atom a term compound atom. Now that compound atom is called as molecule. So this molecule, the term molecule was given by Amedeo Avogadro. What is molecule? Molecule is nothing but compound atom. Compound atom means more than one atoms. For example, CO2 is a compound atom. Different atoms. So when a particle contains different atoms, then such a thing is said that entire thing is said to be compound atom. So here this is also compound atom. So before that, John Dalton has given the term compound atom. Now Amedeo Avogadro has introduced the term molecule in the place of compound atom. Even here also, this is also a compound atom only. Compound atom means more than one atom. If more than one atoms are present, though they are similar atoms or different atoms, whatever the different types of atoms may be, so this is said to be compound atom. This is also compound atom. This is also compound atom. Okay, so whatever the types of atoms may be, but if it contains more than one atom, then it is said to be compound atom. This is a compound atom. This is a compound atom. This is a compound atom. So like this. But now we are using the term molecule instead of using the term compound atom. So now this is a molecule. This is a molecule. This is a molecule. And so on. Okay. Next, so he has given a clear differentiation between atom and molecule. So here he has given clear distinction. Distinction means clear differentiation. Okay, between what? Between atom and molecule. What is atom and what is molecule? So the difference between atom and molecule was given by this scientist. According to Avogadro, what is atom? Atom is the smallest particle of an element. Atom is the smallest particle of matter. Smallest particle of matter. So this matter may be either element, okay, or compound. See, matter exists in two forms, either in element form or in compound form. So look here. So what is atom? Atom is nothing but smallest particle of matter. Okay, this smallest particle of matter which take part in chemical reactions. Which take part in chemical reactions. Okay, in chemical reactions. So what is atom? According to Amedeo Avogadro, atom is the smallest particle of matter which participate in chemical reaction, or else which take part in chemical reaction. Right? And these atoms may exist independently, or may not exist independently. May or may not exist independently. Okay, may or may not exist independently. So that means this atom may or may not exist independently. The smallest particle of matter which take part in chemical reactions, and it may exist or may not exist independently. Then what is molecule according to him? Molecule is also smallest particle of matter only. Okay, it is also smallest particle of matter. What is matter? Matter may be element or compound. So molecule is the smallest particle of matter, but it can exist independently. Okay, so molecule is nothing but the smallest particle of matter which can exist independently. Which can exist independently. But this atom may exist independently or may not exist independently, but molecule always exists independently. So that is the basic difference between atom and molecule. So that a clear distinction was given by Amedeo Avogadro. So Amedeo Avogadro has given a clear distinction between atom and molecule. Okay. Now we will learn atomicity. What is atomicity? Atomicity. Atomicity. So generally, see, atomicity is given for the molecules. So for the molecules, we'll use atomicity. For example, take any molecule. I'll take hydrogen molecule, or else oxygen molecule, or water molecule, or carbon dioxide molecule. What is molecule? Molecule means more than one atom. If there are more than one atom, then it is said to be molecule. So here there are 2 hydrogen atoms, 2 oxygen atoms. There are 3 atoms altogether. What are those 3 atoms present here? 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Here 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. Here 2 oxygen atoms are there. Here 2 hydrogen atoms are there. Okay. So how many atoms are there altogether? Here 2 atoms. Here altogether 2 atoms. Here altogether 3 atoms are there. Here altogether 3 atoms are there. So it is said to be atomicity. So every molecule will have atomicity. The molecule of this one is the atomicity of this molecule is 2, whereas the atomicity of this molecule is 2. Atomicity of this molecule is 3. Atomicity of this molecule is 3. So what is atomicity? Atomicity is nothing but the number of atoms. The number of atoms present in one molecule. The number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance. Okay. The number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance is said to be atomicity. Okay, the number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance or else one molecule of a gas, or sometimes we may use instead of substance we may use gas, the term gas also. One molecule of a gas is called atomicity. So what is the atomicity of hydrogen? 2. What is the atomicity of oxygen? 2. What is the atomicity of water? 3. What is the atomicity of carbon dioxide? 3. What is the atomicity of H2SO4? What is the atomicity of sulfuric acid? So it is having what? One hydrogen atom, another hydrogen atom, one sulfur atom, and 4 oxygen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygen atoms. Altogether, how many atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's sulfuric acid. Its atomicity is 7. Its atomicity is equal to 7. So like this. So atomicity is nothing but the number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance is said to be its atomicity. So what is the atomicity of sulfuric acid? Its atomicity is 7. So like this, the atomicity can be discussed. Okay. Now we will learn about Avogadro's law. The definition of Avogadro's law we will learn. See Avogadro law definition. Definition of Avogadro law. It says that equal volumes of all gases, okay, equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, okay, under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure have or else contain equal number of molecules, equal number of molecules, equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, they contain equal number of molecules. So what is the meaning of this one? So according to this definition, so volume is directly proportional to number of molecules. What is this one? Number of molecules. Number of molecules. What is this one? Volume of the gas. Okay, volume of the gas. Okay. For example, take 1 liter of hydrogen. 1 liter of hydrogen, H2 gas. 1 liter of oxygen gas. 1 liter of oxygen gas. So now it contains what? Particles. As it is gas, these are all what? These are all particles of the gas. These are all particles of the gas. Right. And what are all these? These are also the particles of this gas. These are all what? Particles of this gas. Remember that the particle of a gas, whatever the gas it may be, suppose if it is this particle, So every gas is made up of particles. So this gas is made up of some particles and this gas is made up of particles. So here this particle, every particle in a gas is said to be a molecule. Every particle in a gas is said to be a molecule. So this is also a molecule. This is a particle and this is also a molecule. Which molecule it is? This particle is related to hydrogen gas, hence it is hydrogen molecule. And this particle is related to oxygen gas, hence it is oxygen molecule. Okay now. So these are all what? These are all particles of oxygen, or else these are all molecules of oxygen. And these are all what? Molecules of hydrogen. These are all hydrogen molecules. And these are all oxygen molecules. Now, according to this definition, equal volumes of all gases. Suppose volumes are equal. Suppose here I have taken two gases, hydrogen and oxygen, and we have taken equal volumes now. Equal volumes of two gases we have taken. Or else we may take any number of any gases also. Take another gas, nitrogen gas, and this also I have taken 1 liter only. Okay, 1 liter only. So when equal volumes of different gases are taken, under which conditions I have taken? For example, here nitrogen at certain degrees, at STP conditions, standard temperature and standard pressure, STP conditions. Already we have learnt about STP conditions in our previous book. So STP conditions, standard temperature and standard pressure. What is the standard temperature value? 0 degrees centigrade. What is the standard pressure value? 1 atmosphere. So at STP I have taken 1 liter of nitrogen, and here also oxygen also at STP only I have taken 1 liter of oxygen. That means what is the temperature of this one? 0 degrees centigrade. And what is the pressure of this one? 1 atmosphere. What is the temperature of this one? 0 degrees centigrade. And what is the pressure of this one? 1 atmosphere. And here also STP, even hydrogen is also taken under STP conditions. So what is the temperature of this one? 0 degrees centigrade. And what is the pressure of this hydrogen gas? 1 atmosphere. Okay, so these are said to be STP conditions. So now I have taken all these gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. Under similar conditions, because its temperature is 0, its temperature is also 0, its temperature is also 0. Its pressure is 1, its pressure is 1, its pressure is also 1 atmosphere. So now these gases are taken under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. Okay, when different gases are taken, when different conditions are present under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, okay, it may be any temperature and any pressure. Suppose all the gases may be taken at 25 degrees centigrade, 1 atmosphere pressure, or else all the gases you may take at 12 degrees and any temperature, but all the temperature of all the gases should be same and the pressure of all gases should be same. So then only we will call it as similar conditions of temperature and pressure. Okay, now if you take different gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, now when they are in equal volumes, then the number of molecules present in all them will be equal. So that is the law given by Avogadro. That is called as Avogadro's law. That means equal volumes of all gases will have equal number of molecules. Suppose if 1 liter of hydrogen under these conditions, let us assume, or else under these conditions, for example, let us assume here 1 liter of hydrogen under these conditions, if it contains 100 molecules, then the same 1 liter of oxygen also will contain 100 molecules only, because these two are taken under same conditions. When these two gases have taken under similar conditions, okay, then equal volumes, if you take equal volumes, then the number of molecules present in them also will be equal. So this this is called as Avogadro law. Now here, how many molecules are there? Because this nitrogen gas is also taken under similar conditions. Okay, and here equal volumes, hence the nitrogen molecule, this gas, how many molecules are there here? How many molecules are? Count the number of molecules. Here also it will be 100 molecules only. Okay, so this is called as Avogadro law. That means equal volumes of all gases, when taken under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. So now these gases, they are taken under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. They contain equal number of molecules. That means if volumes are equal, then the number of molecules are also equal. Under which conditions? Provided that all these are taken under similar temperatures and under similar pressures. So that means under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, okay, equal volumes of all gases contain equal number of molecules. Okay, that means volume is directly proportional to number of molecules. Suppose if I take 2 liters, okay, if I take 2 liters, definitely it will double the volume. Initially for 1 liter 100 molecules are there. So if I take 2 liters, then it will be 200 molecules. Here then, if I take 2 liters here also, then again here also it will be 200 molecules. If I take 2 liters of this gas, again here also this gas also contain 200 molecules. Okay, that means volume. If volume is directly proportional to number of molecules. Volume is directly proportional to number of molecules. If volume is increased, number of molecules also will increase. If volume is doubled, number of molecules also will be doubled. So like this. So this is what? This is the Avogadro law. Okay. So let us see one experimental results of certain equation. See, 1 liter of hydrogen I have taken, 1 liter of nitrogen I have taken. Okay, so according to this definition, if 1 liter of nitrogen contains n molecules, according to this definition, if 1 liter of hydrogen contains n molecules, okay, see, look here, this nitrogen and oxygen, this hydrogen and nitrogen, they are taken under similar conditions. They are taken under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. So under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, when equal volumes of different gases are taken, then the number of molecules, if in hydrogen, if it is n molecules, then even in nitrogen also it should be n molecules only. Okay, so that means 1 liter of any gas, it contains n molecules. 1 liter of any gas, provided similar conditions of temperature and pressure, so they contain n molecules. Okay, right. Suppose here in an experiment, it is obtained like this, between reaction between nitrogen and hydrogen. Due to the reaction between nitrogen and hydrogen, so what is happened? Ammonia is formed. So now if you balance this one, you will get 3 hydrogens, 3H2 and 2 NH3. So now this is a balanced chemical equation. So now this balanced chemical equation says that, see here, actually these are all gases. So now this balanced chemical equation says that if 1 volume of nitrogen is taken, so it should react with 3 volumes of hydrogens. Compulsory, it requires 3 volumes of hydrogen to react. And finally, it forms 2 volumes of ammonia gas. Suppose if one volume if one volume is treated as if one volume contains n molecules, listen, if one volume contain n molecules, then two volumes should contain what? Two volumes should contain 2 into n molecules. One volume, every one volume contains n molecules. Hence, if it is 2 volumes, then it should be n molecules and n molecules. That means 2 n molecules, 2 times of n molecules, or else 2 n molecules. Suppose if it is 3 volumes, then it should be 3 n molecules. 3 n molecules. So here, instead of liters or milliliters or centimeters or else, centimeter cube, okay, so instead of specifying the units, simply I am writing volumes. Okay, it may be volume, means it may be liter or milliliter or else centimeter cube or else millimeter cube, whatever it may be. So suppose if one volume contains n molecules, then 2 volumes should contain 2 n molecules and 3 volumes should contain 3 n molecules. Here one volume of nitrogen. One volume of nitrogen means it contains n molecules. Then it should contain how much hydrogen it should react? So 3 volumes. That means here 3 n molecules. 3 n molecules. So it forms, due to the reaction between n molecules of nitrogen and 3 n molecules of hydrogen. So here 2 n molecules of ammonia are formed. 2 n molecules of ammonia are formed. So like this, the definition goes. See, look here. Suppose if it is one molecule of nitrogen, then how many molecules of hydrogen are there? 3 molecules of hydrogen are required. How many molecules of hydrogen are required? For 1 molecule of nitrogen, it requires 3 molecules of hydrogen to form what? 2 molecules of ammonia. To form 2 molecules of ammonia. Okay, 2 molecules of ammonia. So n molecule. If n molecules are there, then it requires 3 n molecules. Okay, and it forms 2 n molecules of ammonia. So if n molecules of nitrogen are there, it requires 3 n molecules of hydrogen, and the reaction between these two will make or else will form 2 n molecules of ammonia. Every 1 molecule of nitrogen will react with 3 molecules of hydrogen, and due to the reaction between these 2 molecules of ammonia are formed. So this is the basis, or this is the basic thing we should learn from this definition. Now we will learn applications of Avogadro's law. Applications of Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law and its applications. That means where Avogadro's law is used. So under which conditions, or else where this law is applicable. Okay, so this law is applicable in many cases. So this law is used. So what are the different cases where this law is applicable? So these are said to be applications of Avogadro law. So first application is this Avogadro law. This Avogadro law helps in determination of atomicity. Avogadro law helps in the in the determination of atomicity of a gas. Atomicity of a gas. So in order to determine the atomicity of a gas, so this Avogadro law is helpful. So this is one of the application of Avogadro law. This Avogadro law also helps us to explain the Gilzig's law of combining volumes. Okay, to explain the Gilzig's law. To explain the Gilzig's law of combining volumes. Okay, in order to explain the Gilzig's law of combining volumes also, this Avogadro law is useful. Hence, this is also an application of Avogadro law. Okay, next of gas, combining volumes of gases. Right. Next, this law, it is useful to establish the relationship between gram molecular mass and gram molecular volume. Okay, it is used to establish the relationship. It is used to establish the relationship. It is used to establish the relationship between what? Relationship between gram molecular mass, gram molecular mass and gram molecular volume. So between the gram molecular mass and gram molecular volume, there is some relation. So that relationship can be established, or else that what is that relationship? So it is given. That relationship is given by Avogadro law. Hence, Avogadro law is used to establish the relationship between these two. What are those two? Gram molecular mass and gram molecular volume. Okay. So this is another application of Avogadro law. Now we will learn the fourth application. So actually we will learn all these applications in detail. So after just I am giving just mentioning what are simply I am mentioning what are the applications of Avogadro law. So afterwards we will learn these applications in some more detail. And also this law is helpful to establish. It's also helpful to establish the relationship between. It's also helpful to establish the relationship between molecular mass. Relationship between molecular mass and vapor density. Molecular mass and vapor density of a gas. Every gas contains molecular mass and every gas contains vapor density. Then what is the relationship between molecular mass of a gas and the vapor density of the gas? So that relationship can be established with the help of Avogadro law only. Okay, molecular mass and vapor density. So the relationship between molecular mass and vapor density, it can be established, or else it can be explained by that means that relationship actually it is given by Avogadro law only. Next, so the fifth application, So this Avogadro law helps us to establish the molecular formula of a gas. Okay, to establish the molecular formula of a gas. So that means molecular formula of a gas can also be established with the help of Avogadro's law only. Okay, so in this way, so there are so many applications. These 5 applications are most important applications. Okay, so we will learn these applications in detail. So before learning these applications in detail, so we have to learn some terminology. Okay, after terminology, because we don't know what is gram molecular mass, we don't know what is gram molecular volume, we don't know what is molecular mass, we don't know what is vapor density. Okay, so like this, so certain terms we have to learn. So mainly we have to learn the terms like relative atomic mass, relative molecular mass, relative molecular mass, and gram molecular volume. So mainly these 3 are very important things. So we should learn these things. This terminology we have to learn. So we will learn this terminology in the next video. Okay, right.